for Rae Gallimore.
Thank you. I really want to date someone with abs. And then I want to get abs. And then when we make out, we'll lock like a puzzle. Nipple hair is weird. I have 2 different sized ears. This is the cute one. And then this is the one I listen to gossip with. It's very subtle, but so is my ability to snoop. Sometimes when I drink too much dairy, I get these bumps on my forehead. And I'm wondering if like a blind person read my face like Braille, they would read, "Tell this girl to stop drinking dairy." People I hook up with say I have a sexy librarian vibe because of my glasses. It's a very progressive compliment, because it means that these men think I can read. Welcome. How are you doing? My name is Rae. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for supporting live comedy. And thank you so much for supporting this new genre niche, Viola comedy. Yeah, I'm 30, and I wish that my teachers, when I was in high school, were more honest with me. Like, my teachers in my report cards would always write things like, excellent student, or, works really hard. But I wish they were more honest and said things like, needs to loosen up. Or like, just simply geek. But is gonna do great things. Yeah, I realize I'm terrified of doing bad things. Like, I've never smoked a cigarette because I'm afraid of the potential long-term financial burden of addiction. Are you guys a big risk-taker crowd? Yeah, my coworker. Yeah, I don't know. I think the craziest thing I've ever done is I chewed a piece of nicotine gum. Twice. The first time was to, seem like I'm cool so I could get laid. And then the second time was because I think I like nicotine gum. Yeah. I desperately want to be cool. And I realize I'll never be cool because I'm too afraid to do cocaine. I think my biggest beef is that no one's ever asked me to do cocaine. My friends have asked to use my keys, but never for me to join. And I think it's because my friends look at me and they go, yeah, she tattles. Yeah, I don't know. Oh my gosh, what was I gonna say? This is not gonna be recorded, and we're gonna get through this. What was I gonna say after that? Oh, right, important stuff, obviously. I was a very weird and sweaty kid growing up. I was so sweaty that I bought adhesive liners for underneath my armpits so I could wear Hollis shirts like everyone else. Like, I didn't kiss a boy in middle school, but I was so cool that I had pads for my periods and my pits. I was a public school kid. Are we public school kids? Yeah. Unemployed on a Wednesday. Yeah, that's right. I went to public school, and the only thing I remember about public school is in grade 8, my school nurse came in to give us the sex talk, right? And she brought in a wooden penis, which she rightfully named Mr. Woody. And she held Mr. Woody in her hand like this, and she knocked Mr. Woody on the desk 3 times. She said, "Kids, you might find one bigger, but you'll never find one harder." This is a viola, for the peasants who don't know. It's like a violin, but a little bit bigger, if you know what I mean. And people always ask me, "Rae, why is it viola, not viola, like violin?" And I say, if I have to answer that question one more time, I'm gonna get violent. I'm a proud graduate of the Juilliard School. Thank you. And again, if you don't know what that is, it's just a fancy word of saying, I did not have sex in high school. You may recognize me. You may recognize me as Inquisitive Violist from season 17, episode 24 of Murdoch Mysteries. Or perhaps you may recognize me from my other career highlight, which is my sex tape, which is titled Violin Emoji, I Want to Be a Star. I do walk around a lot with my viola, and people often talk to me because of it. And I was walking down the street, and this older man sort of popped his head up over a fence and sort of sung the obvious to me, like, viola, viola, viola. So I turned around and I sung the obvious back to him. Balding, balding, balding. As a musician, my best skill is using my ears, and I was using my ears to my best ability, my best Juilliard ability, my best Master of Music ability. And then the guy was like, "Can you do it normally, please? Can you use your mouth instead?" And I was like, obviously he doesn't appreciate a girl that went to band camp. I love being a string player. Because I get to practice something called pinky push-ups. I'll tell you what it is, don't worry. This is where I sit in a practice room by myself, alone, practicing this. Wow. Impressive. My dream is to go to the gym and practice my pinky push-ups in the mirror next to some guy like deadlifting 500 pounds. And in that moment, he'll be really intimidated by me. But in the locker room, when he picks me up, he'll really appreciate my hand strength. I also really love being a viola player. And I thought viola was the one thing that I could talk for hours about, But I realized recently that is not the case. The one thing that I could talk for hours about is basic music theory. Okay, so Western music, we get a score, okay? We get a piece of music, okay? And on the piece of music, there's like lots of symbols that mean different things, right? And even before the notes, there's 3 very important things, okay? We have our clef, which tells us what kind of instrument we're gonna use, okay? So what range is it, okay? I, for example, have an alto clef. I see an alto clef. Okay, the second thing is the key signature, okay? So sharps, flats, what key we're in, is it sad, happy? For example, C major, no sharps, no flats. G major, 1 sharp. D major, 2 sharps. A major, 3 sharps. E major, 4 sharps. B major, 5 sharps. F sharp major, 6 sharps. C sharp major, 7 sharps. Okay, and then next to that, we have something called a time signature. And you could have like 3, 4, 4, 4, 6, 8, 12, 8, stuff like that. And like 3, 4, and 4, 4 is more like, it's called common time. So like you have like a very even amount of number, and it's quarter notes and stuff like this. Like 1, 2, 3. And then in like 6, 8, 12, 8, stuff like that, it's called compound time. And then you can kind of have like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So those of you who are still listening to me, I caught you. You think I'm pretty. And then I don't know. I thought my life as a professional musician would be more luxurious. Like I thought I'd be going from city to city, from gig to gig, via helicopter, and like in the helicopter just doing lots of cocaine. Instead, I find myself doing what most professional musicians do to make money, and that is I teach children. Yeah. My youngest student, she's 5, and she's going through this phase of using one word to describe everything that she does, despite maybe not fully understanding what it is, For example, in a lesson, she pointed to her instrument and was like, "Miss Rae, this is unnecessary." And then she pointed to me and was like, "Miss Rae, you're unnecessary." So I pointed to her shoes and I said, "Are those unnecessary?" And she said, "Yeah, they're unnecessary." It's not to brag, but I've got myself a new pair of size 2 Jordans. Same student, different lesson. She's playing, and then she suddenly stopped. She was like, "Miss Rae, can I tell you about a nightmare that I had?" I said, "Okay." And she was like, "There was this man, and then there was a toilet paper man. And then the toilet paper man turned the other man into a kitty cat man, and it was really scary." I said, "That does sound very scary. But as your music teacher and a certified dream expert, I think you would stop having these types of nightmares if you practice." Suzuki Book 3, anyone? It's a niche joke. I'm a conductor too for some of my job. I'm a band leader, and I asked my concertmaster recently what her favorite musical artist was, and she was like, "Miss Rae, I like Eminem." I was like, "Why do you like Eminem?" She was like, "Well, me and Eminem have a lot in common." I said, "What's that?" She said, "Well, me and Eminem both love our mom's spaghetti." Yeah. Same student, different lesson. She came up to me and was like, "Miss Rae, I can't play today. My fingers hurt from gripping a pen too hard last night." I said, "That's okay. It happens to everybody. Take it easy." Whatever. But little did she know I was also suffering from a similar situation, My fingers hurt from gripping a pen 15 too hard last night. I have a student I hate. I hate her so much. I fucking hate her. Her name is Jessica. I hate Jessica. She came up to me once and was like, "Miss Rae, your earrings look like little toilet seats." I said, "What a profound compliment, Jessica. Thank you. That's okay, because you have to live with the fact that your face looks like a little toilet seat." Another time she came up to me and was like, "Miss Rae, do you have a boyfriend?" I said, "No." She's like, "Have you ever had a boyfriend?" I said, "Yeah." She's like, "How many boyfriends have you had?" I said, "Multiple." She's like, what are the names of all your boyfriends? And then this 10-year-old proceeded to tell me that in her lifetime, she's had 3 boyfriends. And the first 2 broke up with her, but the third one, she's been dating for 3 years. And I don't know if she meant to make me feel jealous, but it worked. Yeah, she kept going. She was like, yeah, we've been dating for 3 years, and he lives, near my grandma, about an hour away from here, and he's 12. I don't know how to tell her, it's not a good thing to date an older man from Oshawa. My favorite student, though, he's really obsessed with Halloween. He told me once that in his Halloween haul, he got a can of Coke. And again, I'm his music teacher, but I also consider myself a bit of a mentor to this kid. And when he told me this, I sat back in my chair and I said, kid, when you're my age, Halloween is only going to be about Coke. I really want my students to find this EP and know that I talk about them in my comedy. And here's the thing, is I wouldn't talk about them in my comedy if they would just practice. I'm a white woman, which means I'm determined to prove everyone wrong. Growing up, I told everyone, my friend's family, that I wanted to be a musician, and I was pretty far behind, so they were both like, you gotta work hard, it's a hard life. I said, okay, so I put my head down, worked really hard, and now I'm a professional musician. It's awesome. Another sort of similar situation happened. My ex told me I wasn't funny, so the next day I told him I was pregnant. And then he started freaking out. He's like, Rae, what are we gonna do? What are you gonna do? And I started laughing, and he was like, what's so funny? And I was like, I think it's pretty funny that I can have your baby and ruin your life. Thanks for coming. This is so much fun. I'm gonna play one more song for you guys, if I have your consent. Is that okay? All right, awesome. It is by J.S. Bach. Do any Bach heads in the crowd? Nerds. Again, if you don't know anything about Bach, I'll tell you. The only thing you really need to know is that in his lifetime, he was a devout Christian man and had 2 wives and about 20 kids. The guy liked to fuck. You're an attractive crowd. Is anyone here on Tinder? Are you in Tinder? Are you in Tinder? Are you in Tinder? I'm not on Tinder. Because I'm over 25 and I respect myself. I think the key to dating is like a crossword puzzle. It's essentially impossible unless you cheat. I dated someone once with a double bed, but the worst part was he insisted it was a queen. He had this little measuring tape in his side drawer. And it was kind of sad. Like 2 nights in a row, I left him crying, measuring something in his bedroom. I was on the train, and this really attractive stranger was in front of me. And before he left, he picked up a piece of trash that wasn't his. And I just found myself thinking, do you think he would ever consider picking me up? Growing up, my celebrity crush was Jughead Jones from Archie Comics. And it's crazy, like 20 years later, my type is still exactly the same. Because if you look at my current boyfriend and Jughead, both ugly hot rap boys, and both extremely fictional. And finally, I think it's funny when a company goes out of business, it's called going belly up, but when I'm belly up, I'm open for business. All right, thanks so much. Thanks for coming. My name is Rae Gallimore. You're so awesome. Thanks for supporting live comedy. And my dream